What's up, guys? It's your boy Benny. Look at this Eye of Sauron wall of death that is headed directly towards my hometown where we broadcast the show from, where my children and family live, Tampa, Florida. This is a once-in-a-generation storm that seems to be on its way to wreak absolute destruction. It was an obvious choice to evacuate for me and my family, especially when I watch clips like this of what a Category 4 and 5 storm does to a house that looks kind of similar to mine, right? Just a typical suburban American home. This would be suicidal for me to put my children and family in harm's way. It really is a matter of life and death. Politics is a matter of life and death, and I'm very, very thankful for the politicians and public officials who encouraged me to leave, and now we are safe 7 hours north. Look at that. I mean, you just don't have a home anymore in a Cat 5. The Democrat mayor of my city is wise enough to say, listen, if you stay here, prepare to die.
Any dramatization whatsoever. If you choose to stay in one of those evacuation areas, you're going to die.
I mean, listen, you know what? You can replace your house. You can replace your car. You can replace so much in life. You can't replace the lives of your children, the lives of your pets, your own life, right? In an act of God like this. And this is what it looks like. Here's a photo from the space station, an act of God. That's what this is. Look at that. Look at that. It's insane. Look at the size of the storm. So, you know, God is a God of life and death. And you got to leave these things. You got to be wise. So, well, you know, wisdom calls from the street. Heed that wisdom. Somebody who's never heeded any wisdom or never spoken any wise words in her life is Kamala Harris, who's committing absolute and total political malpractice in doing the dumbest possible thing, which is attacking the governor of the state who's trying to save lives after 2 hurricanes hit the state in as many weeks. Kamala Harris decided to mule, bitch, and call Ron DeSantis, try and insert herself into a process she doesn't belong in. The vice president has no power. The vice president can't do anything. The vice president is just a pretty stupid position in the first place. Kamala Harris has no role in hurricane or disaster relief, yet she's trying, for political purposes, because her campaign is failing, to insert herself into this storm disaster because she so botched Hurricane Helene. While Americans are drowning and dying, Kamala Harris is doing sex podcasts. And because of that, she's now trying to get ahead of the storm, and Ron DeSantis is ignoring her calls. So Kamala Harris chose to do the dumbest possible thing. Instead of be the bigger person, Kamala Harris decided to be all 5 foot tall, all 5 foot of herself. She is like really, really short. We have a life-size cardboard cutout of Kamala Harris. She's a teeny person. And to act like a very small person and attack Governor DeSantis. Here we go.
President, Governor DeSantis, NBC is reporting Governor DeSantis is ignoring your calls on hurricanes, resources, and help. How does that hurt the situation here?
You know, moments of crisis, if nothing else, should really be the moment that anyone who calls themselves a leader says they're going to put politics aside and put the people first. People are in desperate need of support right now, and playing political games with this moment in these crisis situations, these are the height of emergency situations, is just utterly irresponsible, and it is selfish, and it is about political gamesmanship instead of doing the job that you took an oath to do, which is to put the people first.
Kamala Harris is being destroyed for this, rightfully so. Kamala Harris really just went after Ron DeSantis for playing political games. Harris lied about DeSantis refusing to take her calls. She's a truly horrible person. Ron DeSantis, by the way, denies that he ignored her calls. It is an insane inconsistency in stating that she's not responsible for FEMA's lackluster response to Hurricane Helene, but then saying she's the one to call for Hurricane Milton. Like, completely boggles the mind, completely egregious. She should have just said, I'm here to help. This is exactly right. Ron DeSantis says he categorically denies that he screened a phone call from Kamala Harris. But if you're going to pick a fight with Ron DeSantis, well, expect Ron DeSantis to finish it, especially when it comes to his state of Florida. Ron DeSantis went on Fox News last night and nuked from space, something I wish we could do these hurricanes, Kamala Harris. This is the end for Kamala Harris's campaign in so many different ways. This tweet going thermonuclear, 34,000 reposts, 147,000 likes. Governor Ron DeSantis, she's delusional. She has no role here. She's been VP for 3 years and she's contributed nothing. Go.
And we've been laser focused on leveraging all resources available, including from the federal government, And I've been in touch with both FEMA and the president, as well as marshaling all our state agencies and working to support our local communities. And so for Kamala Harris to try to say that my sole focus on the people of Florida is somehow selfish is delusional. She has no role in this. In fact, she's been vice president for 3.5 years. I've dealt with a number of storms under this administration. She has never contributed anything to any of these efforts. And so what I think is selfish is her trying to blunder into this. No. And here's the thing. She has no role. No, she has no role in this process. I'm in contact with the President of the United States. I'm in contact with FEMA director. I'm obviously managing all our state agencies. We're supporting all our local government. And I will say this. I've had storms under both President Trump and President Biden, and I've worked well with both of them. She's the first one who's trying to politicize the storm, and she's doing that just because of her campaign. She's trying to get some type of an edge. She knows she's doing poorly, and so she's playing these political games. I don't have time for political games. I've got people whose lives are on the line. I've got people whose homes and their possessions are on the line, and we are focused 100% on that mission. I'm not worried about playing her political games. And so she is being selfish by trying to blunder into this when we're working just fine.
That's exactly right. What the hell is Kamala Harris doing? She has no role in this process. Good for Ron DeSantis. She's just trying to fix her failing campaign. And you know who backs up Ron DeSantis of all people? Freaking Joe Biden. Joe Biden moments ago at the White House being like, what are you talking about? The governor of Florida is great. He's been cooperative and he's done everything right. Watch.
Mr. President, the governor of Florida has been cooperative. He said he's gotten all that he needs. I talked to him again yesterday, and I said, I said, no, you're doing a great job. It's all being done well. We thank you for it. And I literally gave my personal phone number to call. So I don't know. There was a rough start in some places, but every governor from Florida to North Carolina has been fully cooperative and supportive and acknowledged what this team is doing. And they're doing an incredible job. But we got a lot more to do.
DeSantis wasn't done yet, though. Ooh, baby. Ron DeSantis absolutely destroys Kamala Harris before politicizing Helene and disaster responses. I don't know what... I didn't know she tried to contact me, but I'd also say that it's not about you, Kamala. It's about the people of Florida. Exactly right. This is exactly the right message, especially as a resident of Florida. Yes, yes, yes. This kind of leadership that I wanted when I moved down to the state. And Kamala Harris is a egregious, the equivalent of an ambulance chaser, right? She's trying to politicize off the death and despair and pain of Americans. This is what America last looked like in practice. Here we go.
My focus has not been on dealing with Kamala Harris. I saw the news report. I didn't know she tried to contact me. But I'd also say it's not about you, Kamala. Right. It's about the people of Florida. My focus is exactly where it should be. And I can tell you this. I've worked on these hurricanes under both President Trump and President Biden. Neither of them ever tried to politicize it. She has never called on any of the storms we've had since she's been vice president until apparently now. Why all of a sudden is she trying to parachute in and inject herself when she's never shown any interest in the past? We know it's because of politics. We know it's because of her campaign. I have zero time to entertain these political games. We're going to continue to do what we need to do to prepare and respond to what may be one of the most damaging storms in the history of the United States. So she says focusing on protecting your people is selfish. I think she ought to look in the mirror.
Seems like Kamala Harris has now doubled down and gone on The View moments ago and continues to attack Governor Ron DeSantis in an act of absolute political suicide. I don't know how else you can explain it. Here we go.
Now, he said this morning, you've never called regarding any of the storms Florida has had since you've been vice president until apparently now, and called it political. What's your response to that?
Well, first of all, I have called and talked with, in the course of this crisis, this most recent crisis, Democrat and Republican governors. Called, taken the call, answered the call, had a conversation. So, obviously, this is not an issue that is about partisanship or politics for certain leaders, but maybe it's for others.
Yeah, this is the total Kamala collapse. All right. This is why she's so worried. Look at this presidential election winner. Look at the destruction of Kamala Harris's campaign. Yeah. Destruction similar to the hurricane. We're not sure. We don't know. We're safe. And we're going to keep covering this. A despicable act by Kamala Harris. Unfit for leadership. Absolutely disqualifying. Trying to politicize and attack a governor just trying to save lives here in the state of Florida. Seriously, go f yourself.